Empathy. What does the word mean to you? When was the last time you felt empathy coming from a friend, a family member, or even a stranger as you held a conversation with them? Let me take you back to 2020, when the world, but more so our Western world, went through a period of fear, uncertainty, and panic of the like that we had not experienced in over 3 generations. The COVID-19 pandemic engulfed our planet like a windswept wildfire, setting ablaze and destroying everything in its path. And one by one, superpowers as well as small island states were forced to shut their borders and issued stay-at-home orders to their citizens. We were all ordered to stay at home. Here in the UK, we were ordered to stay away from each other. Our new way of life was to be socially distant from each other. No longer were we encouraged to hug a hoodie or shake the hand of a stranger. We were being asked instead to stay 2 meters apart. And with that, an already digital and recluse generation retreated further into our computers and smartphones. We supplemented our lack of physical interactions with a digital world or a virtual reality. See, the lack of physical interactions that we were forced to endure due to the shutting down of our countries, our cities and towns in an effort to stop the spread of the virus led to a pandemic of a different kind. This lack of physical connection led to an evolution of a generation who is better at communicating from behind a screen with a keyboard. It led to a generation who was now specialized in communicating using emojis and shortened text forms instead of smiles, words, and physical cues. We spent years communicating in this manner using digital connections of words sent into the cloud, unseen emotions hidden behind screens, avatars, and filtered photos. Yet with all this endless communicating, there was something missing. I am sure you would agree. Empathy. It's the hidden power or ability to understand and share the feelings of the other person. And in our digital age, the age when we are able to communicate with each other no matter where we are on this spinning ball of gas, water, and dirt, we often forget the power of empathy. One person said that empathy is feeling the same feelings. And in this sense, empathy is like being an emotional chameleon. It's when you can really connect with what someone is feeling that you are able to display their emotions. whether it's a friend, a partner, a colleague, or in this case, an individual who is vulnerable, afraid, and uncertain of what the future holds. When you're having a conversation, this kind of empathy helps you to connect on a real emotional level. It is as if you are saying, hey, I see you, I feel you, and I am here with you in this. And as I dug deeper, I learned that not only does empathy affect the way we talk, but it also affects the way we listen. And this kind of empathy, the second kind of empathy, allows us to understand the perspective of the person that we are talking to. It's more about just stepping into someone else's shoes. It's not just about feeling their emotions. It's also understanding their thoughts and their motivations. Quick story. Recently, a friend of mine was diagnosed with cancer. And though I don't know exactly what it was like for her or what she was going through, however, whenever I spoke to her, I tried to imagine her fears, her worries, and frustrations. And I kept that perspective at the front of my mind. And you see, I felt because I was able to do that, this assisted me in choosing my words carefully, because I got a sense of what she was going through. Both kinds of empathy, whether it's feeling the same feelings or understanding their perspective, is like a secret ingredient for having great conversations. Empathy in its different forms help us to express ourselves in a way that others can really relate to. And on the flip side, they help us to listen and understand better when it's our turn to lend an ear. Empathy transforms a simple chat into a real, meaningful conversation. According to Brené Brown, who is known as a leading expert on the subject, empathy is not a script. There is no right or wrong way to express empathy. But what it is listening. It's holding space, withholding judgment, and connecting emotionally. Communicating while you communicate that incredibly healing message that you, my friend, you, my sister, you're my brother, you, my colleague, you are not alone in this thing. And whatever it is you're going through, I hear what you're saying and I hear why you're saying it. And I can also put myself in your shoes and feel your pain. Empathy, however, is not just a modern concept. As the Stoic philosophers spoke about empathy when Seneca said, "We suffer more often in our imagination than in reality." He went on to explain that the power of empathy helps us to bridge the gap between our imagination and reality. It helps us to truly understand our fellow men, what they're experiencing, and what emotions they're going through or feeling. And as I sit here writing this podcast or this episode, my mind somehow wandered back to the case of a young man. He couldn't have been any older than 45. He was fit, healthy, and he exercised daily. But there he laid up in bed, unable to move. He was overwhelmed by emotions of fear and anger, with the question of why me burning through his very core. This outpouring of overwhelming emotions from him presented itself in the form of anger. But as I got down to his level to ask, how are you really feeling? This question, I had learnt, is designed to go beyond the surface level. It was designed to go further than just how are you? And with this question, I was inviting him to share his genuine emotions. And for the next half an hour, I sat still, making every effort to actively listen and acknowledge his responses. The silence in the room was broken only when I asked, what's been the most challenging part of this for you? And finally, what do you need most right now? And as I made every effort to convey the fact that I cared about his needs, I was also willing to support him in whatever way I could. And with this story in mind, I ask, how in this digital world, how in this world where we're connecting more and more through apps and through websites, how do we in this world, when we're hidden behind avatars and filters, do we nurture empathy in our digital world? How do we ensure that this hidden superpower blossoms and grows in an age when we use it less and less? We start with the compound effect and the power of 1% improvement. We start by taking small, smart steps, and we do it consistently over time. Remember, cultivating empathy is a journey. It's not a destination, but every step we take makes our digital world a little bit more human, a little bit more connected, and our conversations or communications or connections are a little bit more empathetic. So let's step into the shoes of others. Let's bring the power of empathy back into our interactions. You, me, all of us can make a difference. Let's connect. Let's truly connect in our age of screens, keyboards, emojis, and filters. As we draw this journey to a close, let's remember that empathy isn't just about understanding others. It's about growing ourselves, enhancing our connections, and ultimately shaping a world that is more compassionate and understanding. It is a skill, a choice, a journey, and it's a journey that starts with you and I. So I leave you with this thought. Who will you deeply connect with today? What small steps will you take on your empathy journey? Please remember, every interaction is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to empathize. Be the catalyst. Be the change that you want to see. And until next time, keep growing, keep empathizing. I just want to say thank you for watching the video and for staying till the end. And if you've enjoyed this video, please, I ask you to share the video with somebody, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so that when a video comes out next week Friday, you'll be the first to know. And let's spread empathy. Let's connect with each other, one conversation at a time. Join me next time as we continue to explore the journey of self-improvement. This is Egbert saying, stay well in mind, spirit, and body.